Worried about the future of wireless? Avoid all those UHF headaches with Sabine's 2.4 GHz Smart Spectrum wireless microphone systems. 70 simultaneous channels, all good worldwide and all immune to TV interference. Sabine Wireless, the only wireless mic with a future.
Welcome back. Lee, one of the other challenges that we seem to face together is the whole issue of form follow function. And the integrator on the technical side is going to want to see certain aspects of the room done a certain way, fuzzy walls, things like that. And I know architecturally, you're going to want to do slightly things that might be considered wrong.
Well, that's an easy one. Form takes precedence over everything. No. For anything to be successful, there has to be, any design requires you're balancing different constraints. And it's going to be integrating AV technology, integrating the acoustics that are necessary in the room, or even mechanical systems. Mm-hmm. They're all fighting for space in a room. They're fighting for primacy. And part of the designer's job description is to balance all of those things in a reasonable fashion and to give the client several options that are going to have slightly different balances of those things.
How much of a role does the client have in that?
Well, ultimately, the client is a decision maker. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not my project, it's not your project, it's their project. They have to live with it. Mm-hmm. So the best we can do as professionals is to describe the range of options that are available, try to show the ramifications of the different alternatives, and to give them the information that a client needs to make an informed decision.
Mm-hmm. So we really need to paint the picture together and give the client the options and let them make the decision based on certain paths that we kind of lead them down.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The aesthetics of the space are always something that we deal with also. You know, we would always want to have necessarily microphones shown on tables and things like that, or speakers that might be seen. And I know architecturally, you usually want those types of devices hidden as much as possible. You have any comments on how you've worked with tables or other furniture to incorporate audiovisual devices, but yet kind of made them seamless to the clients?
Well, aesthetics, you know, have fashion and they have times to themselves. 10 years ago, when the dot-coms were booming, you know, everybody wanted to see all the technology, wanted to see all the guts, wanted to see the wires, and we've moved away from that. And that will have its own cycle. But one of the challenges we do have is how to deal with the technology, say in a corporate setting, and how to interface the two. It sounds kind of strange, but one of the most difficult problems we have is how to get the cables into a conference table. Because it sounds simple, but there can be half a dozen different trades involved in cutting a hole, putting in a conduit, getting the furniture in place. So again, that cooperation between the integrator and the architect and working hand in hand is vital. The project that we recently completed, when we had a 30-person conference table with monitors and AV and audio conferencing, was tremendously problematic for us to think about at the beginning, because there was so much technology that had to be incorporated. So we took a strategy where we maximized the amount of space that could be kind of hidden off from the client's site, where technology could run free. And I think being able to work with you and giving you that type of freedom to use your technology is a good strategy.
Yeah, and it seems to be that as we improve on the technology that we have, that we're able to hide some of those devices maybe a little better than in the past, actually. What do you also think about time frame with the projects, not just time frame of the design, but time frames of the project? Do you find that you're getting compressed more now than you've ever have in the past, or?
It's something that's happened throughout my career over 30 years, is the time frames have gotten shorter and shorter and shorter. Not only with design time, but with construction time. It seems that every time our companies meet the challenge of a client to meet an extraordinary schedule, that becomes the new bar. And that becomes something that we have to meet, are expected to meet as the standard going forward. So again, it requires communication, cooperation, using the technology that's available for us to communicate. One of the things we've introduced recently, and I'm sure you're starting to see it, is documentation software that allows us to keep track of all the documents that are coming and going in on a project automatically, so that we can register electronically the documents we receive from you. We have the information of when it went out, who asked to see it, who it gets distributed, and all of that's handled digitally now rather than having a clerk handle it in the mailroom.
Thanks for watching this edition of Sound and Communications Viewpoint. Join us in 2 weeks when we'll be dealing with the enemy.